extreme urgency, then we have a chance of making life multiplanetary. Still just a chance, not for sure. If we don't act with extreme urgency, that chance is probably zero. And the rate of innovation is not going to be constant. It's either going to increase the rate of innovation, or it's going to slow down. If you look at American access to space with Crew, we were able to go to the moon in '69. Then with the space shuttle, we could only go to low Earth orbit. And the space shuttle retired. And then for almost a decade, there was America had no access to space with people. So this is a pretty bad trend. It's trending to zero.
Right.
We need a very strong trend in the other direction in order to have any chance whatsoever of making life multiplanetary.
Yep.
So that's the reason for the extreme sense of urgency.
build the technologies necessary to make life multiplanetary. To answer more seriously, if you consider the nature of importance itself and say, how do you tell that anything is important? Well, the lens of history is a helpful guide here. And the more you zoom out, the more you can distinguish the things that are important over a great span of time, the truly important things, versus things that may seem important in the moment but are forgotten once that moment has passed.
Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Welcome, and good morning to all of you, and welcome to our new morning show. It is great to have you with us. Top of the morning to you. Feeling all right. Got some a lot of familiar names in the chat, considering how early it is this morning. We've got Doodle Doo, Gray 99, Zombie Doge Army, Colby, DuPont, Marie Potter. Hello, Marie. Brad Hassan, Crypto Tank Girl, Ryan McClimans. Haven't seen that name in a few rounds. Good to see you back in the mix, Ryan. Casanova, what's up, Casanova? Benny Crypto, Josh Randell Disavows, of course, Mama Crypto, Jay, Anthony Grant. Hey, Anthony, haven't seen you in a bit. Good to see you back in the mix. Yusa, and the list goes on. Welcome. And good morning to all of you. Diamond Hands Freddy, welcome back. got a really good show lined up for you guys tonight or this morning. I'm so used to saying tonight, still got to kind of retrain myself here. So yeah, welcome to GM. GM is our new morning show. It's good to have you guys with us, and we got definitely some interesting stuff to talk about this morning and bring you guys. If before we get started, if I could just ask you to hit that like button. It takes just a moment of your time. It really helps out a lot. If you could just take a moment to do that, it really helps out. If you're brand new here, I'd like to personally welcome you. You're watching Steele Live. I'm Steele. And we'd love to have you a part of our awesome community here. So feel free to hit subscribe and that notification bell so you know exactly when and where we go live. Also, if you feel compelled to super chat anywhere throughout the duration of this broadcast, that's hugely appreciated. It allows me to keep doing and putting as much time as I do on this stuff. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome my co-host with the most. It's none other than Dogecoin millionaire Nick Ballz. Top of the morning to you, sir.
Oh, top of the morning, Stephen. I just woke up.
Yeah, I curiously enough, my sleep schedule got so wild that now it's coming full circle into like very more
Normality.
conventional. Yeah, conventional. I like went all around the clock, and I woke up at about 4:30 in the morning today, and ready to go and go at them. So yeah. What's up, John? 313. Good to see you. So here we are. This whole Binance situation. Boy, did you get out of there in time, huh?
You know what? If I'm good at anything, I'm really good at running out of the building as it's exploding, Die Hard style, with anything. My investments, my choice of exchanges. Like, I've avoided so many exchange collapses in my life. It's insane, and I've made it out completely unscathed most times, almost actually all times.
Yeah. For those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, it's this CoinDesk story. I'm CoinDesk story. It was kind of broke by CoinDesk, but it's about Binance. I covered this on my last episode, but it's definitely still continuing. And that is Binance has freezed all people from being able to withdraw or transfer their Dogecoin, and users are now reporting being asked to return Dogecoins they don't have. So people that are users on Binance's platform are getting their Dogecoin stolen from them from the platform, and then being told that they owe Binance the balance to those missing Dogecoins. Absolute insanity, and the nerve and gall of them to do this sort of thing. And this isn't the first. By all means, this is far from the first warning sign we've seen from this platform. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah, correct. So earlier this year, they really pulled some wacky business with their perpetuals in Europe. So they were basically selling a product, and there were several of them. They were called BTC Up and BTC. I'm sorry, but not BTC Up. BTC Down. And it was a token that would essentially act as a short sell. But instead of placing a short sell order, you bought the BTC Down token. It just makes it easier, right? So like if you're not comfortable with short selling, you can buy BTC Down. You don't have to worry about leverage. You don't have to worry about any of that. And what happened was BTC Down was active, and it was a product that was available in Europe. And of course, on May, it was actually May, I can tell you, May 12th. Hold on, let me zoom out here. May 10th or 12th, somewhere in that range, when BTC took the biggest hit it did this year over the series of a few days. The BTC Down token, which should have made people money by purchasing it, actually lost people money. So it did the opposite of what it was designed to do. It was an error in the coding. However, when approached with this, the regulators came after Binance in the UK and said, "What the hell?" And Binance said, no, no, no. Actually, if you read the fine print, um, this token says it won't do anything at all. It is not guaranteed to do anything at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, so that's dodgy, to put it mildly. Josh Randell disavows kicking things off with a $20 super chat. First super chat of the morning. Thank you for that, Josh. Really appreciate it. Ripped, Nick Ballz, Rich O, and thank you so much for the heads up on Binance. You saved me a ton of money, says Josh Randell. So
Yeah, we warned people about this, like back in May.
I remember.
Yeah, so you are very welcome, Josh, and I hope that other people heeded our warning when we put it out there earlier this year.
Yeah, that's just absolutely wild. And, we have seen other red flags with Binance too throughout different select parts of Europe and even select parts
Canada.
of Canada as well, where Binance is being closely investigated by the different governments there, questioning if they are even have the legality to operate in those territories, right?
Correct, yeah. So I remember, I'm not going to name names because, whatever, but we had a friend, someone that we were communicating with, who had their whole entire Binance account frozen for no reason in Canada. And no email, no communication, just you can't do anything. Your money is stuck.
Right.
As soon as I saw that was right around the time I left Binance, maybe a few days after that. And, I never had any issues with Binance personally. But when you see the writing on the wall like this, you just gotta act. And I discussed this in the chat or on the show as well. I lost $30,000 moving from Binance to Kraken. However, how I lost that money was I sold BNB at a significant loss. I lost 30K. I put what I had into Bitcoin and sent it over to Kraken, and I made all the money back. So
Right.
not a huge deal. I didn't really lose anything in the long run. But yeah, if you see the writing on the wall like this, guys, just take action as fast as you can.
Yeah, and not that I was using anything Binance for anything other than simply purchasing BNB for my trust wallet for my various DeFi investments and stuff like that. But still, that was a regular use that I'd have for it. Always terribly inconvenient. Always terribly inconvenient, by the way.
Yeah.
Just even that process. And so even at that, I've been doing research on other ways for me to get BNB into my trust wallet for my DeFi investments and such. And I am taking decisive steps right now, and I'm liquidating the BNB that I have, and not a lot in there. Liquidating the BNB that I do have in my Binance right now back into my bank account, and closing down my account today. So this is the last and final straw for me. I will never be touching Binance again. I have had it. This is a platform that already has a questionable history of red flags left and right, in my opinion. And now this latest business, Nick, why Dogecoin? Why specifically is this happening to Dogecoin and no other currencies? It's a bit suspect. We just had Ross on the other day. We asked him about it. We had some pretty good back and forth with him about this. From our understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but through what Ross was telling us on this program, it doesn't really seem to have been an issue from a development standpoint on Dogecoin.
No, so why, the question, why Dogecoin? And the simple answer is because Dogecoin had its most recent update, which all, exchanges and mining pools and, big organizations that pay out large amounts of Dogecoin needed to upgrade their servers to. And when this took place, Binance had come out and said, whoopsie daisy, we've been double issuing transactions, and this is why people are now required to give Dogecoin back, which they might not have, as they, this is transactions that had taken place months, years, who knows how long these transactions have been floating on the blockchain that they have not accounted for. And yeah, this is all a Binance problem. This is not a Dogecoin problem. This is not a developer's problem. And unfortunately now Binance is passing the buck onto their users and saying it's a user problem.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is really crazy. I just, after I heard, I spoke with Ross, kind of in private, and just after I've heard like how Binance handles their back end, and I I knew this already.
Right.
Just being in the forums and checking other places, Binance is not really very good at keeping their back end maintained. And it's very, very risky for their users to be involved in something like that.
Yeah, what do you make of, to me, the most egregious part about this whole scandal? And let's be honest here, this is exactly what we're talking about. This is nothing short of a scandal, in my opinion, and should be covered accordingly. But that being said, the most egregious part about this whole scandal is the fact that Binance is liquidating select users' Dogecoin, okay, and then handing them a balance for that Dogecoin that has been liquidated by Binance themselves. Have you ever heard of something so egregiously wrong on an exchange?
Well, I have certainly seen my fair share of exchanges that have.
Considering that you've been in the space very actively for 8+ years, I'm sure you've seen dodgier things, but this does definitely rank up there, especially for this. We're talking about the most popular cryptocurrency platform by volume in the world pulling this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. Certainly, I've just never seen anything from that large of an exchange take place before, and it's interesting that it's taking place, specifically with Binance. And this is part of the reason why why Dogecoin is kind of at the price level it's at right now, is because combine that with Robinhood, and combine that with other factors like perpetual suppression and whatnot. It's kind of got us stuck at the moment. I hope Binance fixes what they're, I hope they fix it, and I hope they fix it soon. This is something that should have already been taken care of.
Now, Nick, question for you. I'm just curious on your feedback on this. How much of this would you chalk up to just straight up incompetency, and how much would you chalk up to this to something potentially perhaps even malicious?
I wouldn't say it's something malicious. I'm not going to go as far and say that, because I don't have any evidence to point in that direction. What I will say is I think that Binance runs clearly runs an outstandingly broad operation in many different countries. And if you take a look at Binance's team, it is very small. Very small. Binance is trying to make as much money as possible, and in doing that, they hire the least amount of people they need to keep the ship afloat. And unfortunately, this is the kind of things that happen: is they'll double issue transactions and then just sweep it under the rug and deal with it later, which is exactly what's happening right now.
Right.
If you look at Robinhood, if you look at Coinbase, if you look at Kraken, these companies have thousands of people working for them, and Binance, I think, has less than 100. Their team is like 40 something people. So, this is what happens when you just don't have the manpower to properly update your systems.
Thank you for that. Now, do we have enough data to be able to assess how Binance is doing financially? Are they in that much of a Are they in that much of a struggling position to have to operate on what is seemingly apparently a shoestring budget as far as staffing goes?
Absolutely not. Binance is a Binance is they're publicly, their information's out there. They pay taxes. I will kind of. They're one of these companies that headquarters in Malta, so you never really know. But the fact is that Binance is raking in the cash. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just rolling in. The CZ is all in. Um, so yeah, no, Binance is not in any type of financial trouble. They make plenty of money.
So, in short, that this is essentially a tale of greed at the expense of its user base.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That is exactly what's going on here.
Yep, just what I thought. Just what I thought. Chad Bagley coming in with a $2 super chat. Thank you. Good morning, Chad. He says, "Morning, my dudes. Morning, right back to you, sir. Morning, right back to you." Yeah, I think we did hit the nail on the head there, and I just wanted to illustrate that because I know you even have more of a breadth of experience, not only in the crypto space in general, but even more specifically with Binance. So I definitely wanted your feedback on it, and just hearing you talk and share your perspective on this, Nick, it really just kind of clarifies and solidifies most of my already existing suspicions about Binance. So I cannot wait just to be absolutely done with them. And your experience with Binance, I mean, personally for me, it's very clunky. It's very if you want to do anything, it's incredibly difficult to do comparatively to other platforms, in my opinion.
I don't agree. I think Binance has probably the best UI compared to all other platforms. That's the one thing that they have going on for them. Now, if you're not an experienced trader in the sense that you're not experienced with, working on a live exchange, if you're used to Coinbase's user experience, then yes, you would probably get that vibe. But speaking as somebody who is very experienced with multiple different UIs, and actually Ross and I talked about this in private. Ross was like, "Yeah, dude, their UI is, top notch. That's the one thing that they have going for it. Their UI is incredible." And you know what? That was the first thing when I moved over to Kraken. My buddy is the COO over there. I talked to him and I told him, like, "Look, man, I love, thank you so much for having me come over to Kraken. I really appreciate it. Thank you. The only, complaint that I have is that your UI is shit." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." He's like, "We're working on it." I actually gave him a list of things that I think would really help update their user experience and their UI. But yeah, no, Binance's UI is really top of the line.
I would agree in some regards, but I would disagree in other regards. In terms of just from, if I was coming at things from a casual investor point of view, perspective and experience, I would actually. Now, granted, this is for people that don't need necessarily require or care about detailed charting within the platform. Okay, so that would be Robinhood and Voyager would be at the top of my list for user friendliness. No, now hear me out, because whenever a user wants to deposit more money from their account, from their bank account into their respective accounts to purchase more crypto, it's very, very seamless, particularly on Voyager. And conversely, when you sell and you want to convert your selling offerings back into fiat and back onto your bank account, it happens lickety split like this. Now, Binance, there's several steps that you have to take to do both of those things, and usually there's even, from my experiences, cooling periods of 5 to 10 days for either one of these things. Now, from again my experiences, especially if you're trying to do more shorting and things like that in the red light district or in many times the sort of investments that BNB is a catalyst for, time is of the essence. Okay, so when you kind of disempower the user base from being able to make really snappy trades like that, I think it's very disadvantageous. What are your thoughts?
So you know what, I would agree to the extent that Binance's deposits and withdrawals are complicated, and I would agree. I would agree to that fact. And yes, you're right. Robinhood and so, Voyager, they both have very quick withdrawals and deposits. That being said, though, a vast majority of people on Robinhood and Voyager are not depositing and withdrawing tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So yes, if you're just an average person in the crypto space who is making buys and sells, yeah, it is a lot quicker to do that with those other platforms. However, I will say this: so now of course I'm on Kraken. I've been on Kraken for a while. Kraken, it is still a complex process to get deposits and withdrawals done. However, it's a 24-hour. It's 24 hours, so you'll have it next day. And I've tested this myself. I think there should be a bit of a complex scenario done for deposits and withdrawals, in the sense that as far as security goes, like, it makes sense to have an authentication, two-factor authentication for deposits and withdrawals. This is just a safety thing, and I think that's important. But then separate that argument from the fact that Binance has their user interface is top of the line. So I do agree the withdrawals and deposits they're probably some of the worst in the industry, but the actual UI itself is some of the best.
Gotcha. I think we agree now. Now that I hear I think we've mutually reached to an understanding of acknowledgement there. I would agree with everything that you said there. Josh Randell disavows. Thank you again, Josh. Appreciate that $20 super chat. Nick, with regards to Binance, I've seen this many times with other exchanges over the years. And the next thing that happens is the accounts are frozen and the exchange ceases to exist. Yeah, that's a direct quote from you, isn't it?
No. Well, maybe I probably have said that here. No, that is a direct quote for me.
Yeah, you don't remember?
Remember.
It's weird because I remember it.
Yeah, no, that is a direct quote for me. And yes, correct.
Wake up, buddy.
Sorry.
No, I specifically remember you saying that on the air. Thank you again, Josh. Really appreciate it, man. And Nick, you called it. David Bemis, good to see you, man. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Good morning, Stephen and Nick. I'm a little late. I'll catch up. Great interview with Ross. No worries, man. That's the great thing about these episodes. If you miss part of it or even all of it, it immediately gets uploaded to the channel following the live stream for your convenience. So thank you, David. Appreciate you. So let's see here. I got a couple other stories that I wanted to get to. I think we covered the Binance situation pretty effectively. Now, I wanted to get into a story that's not necessarily crypto. It definitely was on the thumbnail. And it was, have you followed what's been happening with Dave Portnoy and Business Insider?
The sexual things or whatever?
Yeah.
I've heard about it. I'm not like up to date on it.
I'm pretty schooled on it. So we'll just expand on it a little bit. Essentially what's been happening is there's been some serious attempts at investigative reporting on Dave Portnoy on behalf of Business Insider. They've been pretty much just trying to stalk him and find dirt on him for the last several months, and then release this very kind of salacious, over-the-top sounding, hyperbolic sounding National Enquirer kind of article about Dave Portnoy, and it basically when you read it in its totality, it basically goes into his sordid dating life and his hookups that he's had with various girls, and it just tries to make him sound like the worst guy possible. But when you actually look at the meat of what's being alleged, it's kind of a nothing burger. It's like Dave Portnoy hooked up with girls as young as 19 years old. It's like, okay, well, last I checked, that's a legal age in all 50 states here. It's that's a legal adult. Okay, what else you got? Well, there's another girl that hooked up with him and really regrets it. I'm like, okay, well, those sort of things happen sometimes, right? So what happened is this investigative reporter went into his past and just started questioning and interviewing any girl that he's ever hooked up with in attempts to find some dirt on him. And eventually, of course, you got to imagine a fella in his position, he's probably had a pretty good breadth of experiences in this regard, being in the position that he's in, that there's inevitably going to be a few of these young ladies who are going to be eager to maybe paint him in an unflattering light, particularly when there's monetary reward involved for that sort of information, right? Which many times there are when assembling this sort of thing. So to me, this seems like a full throttle character assassination attempt by a few different sectors of the mainstream media here. And it's really something because Dave's not particularly a political guy at all, but he is a guy that has unapologetically marched to the beat of his own drum, done his own thing, and has occasionally walked off the official narrative of mainstream media sensibilities. Any thoughts, Nick?
You know what this reminds me of, Stephen? The Aziz Ansari situation a few years back, where I don't know if you recall this, but
I do.
Okay. Aziz Ansari essentially got Me Too'd, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went on a date with a girl that just didn't go well. But
yeah,
if you asked her, like, the date just didn't go well. But if you asked him, he would have never known that. It seemed like a total innocuous dating experience, and then this girl goes to like the National Enquirer or whatever, I can't remember which publication it was, but just completely decimates this guy's character and his career, and he folded. Like he let it get to him, right. And it really kind of ruined his career at the time. For what really amounted to nothing at all, and it's so incredibly unfortunate. Now, I will say this, I don't see this happening to Dave Portnoy.
No, he's a fighter, man.
He's gonna go after these people. He's very, very well aware of, the legalities of, everything. Mm-hmm. He could probably be a lawyer. Say what you will about Dave Portnoy and his exploits and the way that he conducts himself. He's not a dumb guy. I'll tell you that. He's not a dumb guy. He built up this massive company from like the ground up, and I don't think this is gonna. I don't even think this will be a speed bump in his career.
It's kind of funny just to see these. It's like to see the narrative they tried to make something out of nothing. It's just like single successful man hooks up with random girls via Instagram, news at 11. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Like, really, that's essentially what this big investigative report boiled down to. So, to me, it just seems like the folks at Business Insider, by the way, you're Business Insider. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? To me, it seems like they already had sculpted a preconceived narrative that they wanted to conclude before they even began the research, right? And so the process for Business Insiders seemed to me to dig as much up as you can to sculpt together the preconceived narrative that has already been decided. Doesn't that sound right to you?
Yeah, I would agree, and I think clearly this is a thing where the guy who runs Business Insider just doesn't like Dave Portnoy. um, who knows what the hell happened? Maybe Dave hooked up with his ex or whatever. I don't know. There's something going on there though, because they would have there'd be no reason to do something like this, and especially when it's very clear, like, well, very obvious what is going on there.
Yeah, very clear, very clear. I think this could get really interesting because, like you said, he's definitely a fighter. He's definitely been very upfront, unapologetic about everything, and he's been fighting back pretty hard. He's super well moneyed, obviously, so I think he's gonna. I think just on principle, we're gonna see him really dig his heels in legally to sock it to Business Insider and anyone else who's jumping on this character assassination attempt. So I think things are going to get real spicy. I think things are going to get real interesting, and good for him. It's my personal impression that that this to me this just feels like a big nothing burger. I've read the entire quote unquote expose on him in detail a few times over before we went live here, and there's just it's like making something out of nothing, but using the sort of language that makes him seem like a really terrible guy. But when you actually pull back on that hyperbolic language and you look at the facts on what actually transpired, there's just really not much there at all. So
yeah, I would agree.
But Dave is a terrible investor, you guys. Just it's a terrible investor. I would not take it. I would not take investment advice from Dave, particularly when it comes to crypto.
Yeah, I would say, you know what, he's actually a good investor when it comes to building a business.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
As far as like investing into himself and investing into a business, he is one of the best. He is a horrific stock investor and horrific crypto investor. Like, the worst. I have seen him lose more money in crypto, and in the shortest period of time, I've seen brand new people, like people brand new to the space on Twitter, and we know a few in the chat that are brand new to crypto that have become millionaires in a year. A couple names come to mind, but like Dave Portnoy, literally every single one of his picks and timing is absolutely horrifically bad.
It really is. I couldn't agree with you more there. In fact, so much so that you could almost tell people to do the exact opposite of whatever Dave's doing in stocks and crypto, and you might fare pretty well.
Yeah, for sure.
But he sure can build a business, no doubt about that. But when it comes to stocks and crypto, I really haven't seen much worse in terms of outcome. Bitcoin ticker is frozen. All right, let me take a look here. I'll just give it a quick refresher. That may be true.
I think Dave, when he did the whole shitcoin, onboarding thing where he was going to support one shitcoin, to rule them all, and he ended up going with SafeMoon. He bought SafeMoon at like all-time highs.
Oh my
and
God.
It has never returned to even anywhere close to where he bought it.
Yeah, that was kind of around the beginning of the end, as far as my opinion goes, as it stands on SafeMoon. SafeMoon really making a strong comeback at this point just seems incredibly unlikely, but you never know.
It is, you know what? I'm looking at the chart right now. It is clawing its way back, but it spent an incredible amount of time, just at the very bottom.
Yeah. Josh Randell disavows coming in with a $10 super chat. Do not make Dave your crypto mentor. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But anyway, we wish Dave the best, and hopefully this mess will get sorted sooner than later. But I think we're going to see something. I think we're going to see some very interesting legal action mounted, as countersuits are probably already in action from Dave's team. I think Business Insider is going to really wish they hadn't poked that hornet's nest. That's my impression. Next story here. This comes courtesy of Cointelegraph. Bitcoin hitting 59,000 would be, quote unquote, extremely healthy, says trader, as Bitcoin price retreats. A correction continues for Bitcoin during Friday, but it may not be over yet, and analysts are far from worried. Bitcoin dipped below the 64,000 point in November 2nd, and it's come down from new all-time highs, continued to unnerve. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView captured fluid market conditions on Friday, with Bitcoin acting in the $2,000 range. The pair had spent the previous day trading sideways. Behavior was now showing signs of breaking down. But for popular analysis, however, Bitcoin's price action was not only expected, but welcomed. A drop in 59 to 61K, followed by some consolidation, would be the best way to continue this bull run, in my opinion. Twitter trader Galaxy added, might not happen, but would be extremely healthy for both Bitcoin and alts. Be prepared either way. What are your thoughts on this?
A little complex for me. Can you boil it down?
Yeah, so essentially what this article is saying that several very key, respected, for lack of a better term, technical analysis are saying that Bitcoin dropping down, retracing to the area of 59, 60,000 is actually a very healthy sign and something necessary for it to continue its bull run.
Yeah. So if you're a fan like I am of CoinsKid, he talks about this all the time. And then in the sense that anytime you hit all-time highs, you want to see retracement. You want to see a correction. This is where big money accumulates their positions for the next run up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would agree. Anytime you see an all-time high get set, of course, you're bound to see a retracement, right? Like it's bound to happen. Now, there's the cool thing about Bitcoin at where it's at now is it has so many levels of support built up that you can pretty much set your watch to where it's going to move to next. You can put in CoinsKid calls them cheeky bids because he's English. Put a cheeky bid on whatever the number is. So yeah, I concur. I think that's probably a healthy thing.
Yeah, and it's been about 24 hours since this article's come out now, and right now we're already clawing back a bit up above 64K. All in all, even up to the point of seeing 30% retracements on Bitcoin, to me is neither surprising nor alarming. When we look at the totality of Bitcoin's charting patterns over the course of years, this is just a part of the game. What do you say, Nick?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now, given this most recent pullback here, a lot of folks were talking about Bitcoin to 90,000 by end of year. Would you still say that's reasonable?
Well, Plan B, his analysis is like 90-something thousand by the end of this month.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I think 100K by the end of the year is the target.
Wow. I want to pivot to one more story before maybe we wind down here. Firstly, if you guys aren't following me on my new Twitter account, make sure that you're dialed in. I have a new Twitter account. That's where the party is. I'm even more lively, more active over there. I even started doing Twitter Spaces again, teaming up with Sadaf and a few others, doing Twitter Spaces, usually in the afternoons. So make sure you hit all the notifications there. and I'm going to put my new Twitter in the chat. And we are, as I really take aggressive steps to going full time with all this, guys. So definitely stay connected to me on my new Twitter. I am in the process of drawing down and will be deleting my previous Twitter account. So fresh start there, and having a great time over there. The engagement is high. The information is flying. Doing Twitter Spaces, covering breaking news, and all the fun, goofy stuff as well. So make sure you follow me on my new Twitter, you guys. I think we covered Sliding Edge coming with a $2 make you holler. Thank you. That good morning to you, Sliding Edge. Always great to see you in the mix, my friend. No doubt about it. So now, Nick, where you're seeing the mainstream media really start to cover the Doge 1 mission. This is really something that mainstream media is starting to cover on a near daily basis. Why are they doing this? Why out of nowhere? Well, we are approaching the actual, the real launch of this thing, figuratively and literally. Now, a specific date hasn't been announced on this, but it is, and Elon confirmed it, that it is going to happen at the beginning of 2022. Sounds like even maybe in January, February at the latest. FX Empire is reporting Elon Musk's Dogecoin space stream is nearing liftoff. Musk's rocket company's upcoming mission will place a spotlight on Dogecoin and DeFi. Dogecoin is closer than ever, where no other cryptocurrency has gone before, thanks to Elon Musk's upcoming SpaceX mission. Musk's rocket company is harnessing the expertise of blockchain startups Unizen and ZenX Labs, plus energy firm Geometric Energy Corporation, to prepare for the launch of the Doge 1 satellite into space. Musk previously revealed that SpaceX will be launching the Doge 1 satellite to the moon at the beginning of 2022, saying that the tab for the space mission is being paid for in all Dogecoin to make it the first crypto to literally go into space. GEC and SpaceX are also spotlighting the role of decentralized finance, or DeFi, in this space exploration. The companies are already readying the launch of the CubeSat and the satellite into lunar orbit, where spatial data will be gathered from sensors and cameras. The mission is not expected to launch before early 2022, but we can safely conclude that at the very latest, it will be set for March 2022 at the very latest.
Real quick, Steven.
Yeah.
I just want to mention, Elon Musk just tweeted one of the most hilarious tweets I've ever seen, and it's kind of related to this.
Well, that's breaking news. What do you got?
This is freaking hilarious. Bernie Sanders just tweeted just a few minutes ago, "We must demand that the extremely wealthy pay their fair share, period." Elon Musk responds, "I keep forgetting that you're still alive."
Oh my God, burn.
Yeah.
My God.
I had to get that out before we left.
Oh, savage. Yeah. Absolutely savage. I don't know if you were accompanying me. One of my earlier episodes of this show was when Bernie Sanders first began specifically going after Elon Musk over his utopian vision and putting using kind of Elon as a scapegoat to be an obstacle to that. This is breaking news. This is hilarious. This is going to be all over the mainstream press by tonight, and certainly by tomorrow morning. That's pretty brutal. That being said, this is a good time to kind of open this up a little bit. Bernie Sanders comes from a perspective, Nick, where to me it's very, in this regard anyway, it's very adolescent to pose this almost ultimatum that states you're either for space exploration or you're for helping planet Earth. And to force people to choose and between those two things as things that must be mutually exclusive seems rather juvenile, no?
Yeah, so way back when I used to, back in my high school days, I used to think very highly of Bernie Sanders. I thought, this is back when I was a kid, and I bought into this socialist utopian dream, and Bernie Sanders is one of the biggest charlatans you could imagine. He is a multimillionaire himself. He owns several massive homes. Yeah, so you find that the people that are pushing this socialist vision are often just the biggest fakes and the biggest yeah, they're just charlatans. It's sad almost, because the idea, the concept of what they're trying to push, the saying is always true. It looks great on paper, and it's just so unfortunate that human greed and the human condition always, every single time, corrupts this vision of a perfect utopia.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying there. It's one of these things. Hearing you talk there too, it also reminds me of one of the most popular Twitch streamers out there, Hassan Piker, I think. Yeah, Hassan Piker, whose father runs the Young Turks network, or his uncle that runs the Young Turks network. Here's a guy that's on its face anyway has marketed itself to be like this, almost like a Zoolander face for communism. Raking in literally millions and millions of dollars annually off of Twitch. And then he recently was confronted about the hypocrisy of what he purports and markets his political views to be versus the lifestyle that he lives. And it's a very interesting, convoluted cognitive dissonance to hear him, and the footage is out there, to hear him justify this and to actually say that communism is exactly about this. And then he went on to kind of give this mini haphazard kind of Gordon Gekko sounding speech, but under the umbrella of communism. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta run, but I will say this before I go. It's like, it's okay for them to have money, but it's not okay for anyone else to have money. And it is so freaking hilarious that they're out there basically telling the average person, who, by the way, the average American is the one who's struggling the hardest, that they need to give up their rights, they need to give up their money, they need to pay more in taxes. However, these champagne socialists are the ones who are living in the Hollywood Hills in multi-million-dollar mansions and just living this extravagant lifestyle. Final thoughts, I think it's hilarious and ridiculous.
All right, Nick, thank you so much, man. Thanks for joining me this morning. I think our third episode now of our morning show. And I will circle back to you later in the day and see how things are going.
Cool. Thanks.
All right.
Later, everybody.
You guys can find Nick Ballz. He's a pretty easy guy to find on Twitter. Just Nick, Ballz. That is Nick. Hold on. Let me readjust my screen. Bring back that visual. And I will finish out the rest of the show here and catch up on what's going on in the chat. Ryan asks, does anyone have an opinion on Luna? I like Luna. I wish I had more money to invest in it, actually. I think it's one of the safer bets in DeFi. You're going to have to exercise definitely some extra patience if you are just entering in for the first time right now. I wouldn't say that's probably the most advantageous position to buy right now, but I do see Lunaterra as being one of a very solid long-termer, in my opinion. So there we have it. There we have it. Guys, if you're not already a member, maybe consider being one. It's only just $4 a month. That's just $1 a week. In return, you get a lot of members-only streams. I do about 3 or 4 of those a week. And then also, you get that nifty badge that you see some of the people in the chat have, and then also the fun members-only emojis. And it's just a great way to get a lot of value for not very much money to you at all. And it's just another great way to support what we do here. Let me go to my notes and check out what else I've got going on that maybe I wanted to get to this morning with you guys. Just give me a moment. Here. This was pretty interesting. This was courtesy of Benzinga. Shibatoshi Nakamoto, which is Billy Marcus's moniker and Twitter name, says Dogecoin is superior to Shiba Inu and Bitcoin. Elon Musk agrees. Dogecoin co-creator Billy Marcus, who goes by the username Shibatoshi Nakamoto on Twitter, says Dogecoin's low fees make it ideal for all sorts of transactions, making it superior to competing meme coins. He compared the top 3 meme coins in a tweet and their corresponding fees for transactions. Dogecoin's low fees make it ideal for all sorts of transactions. And this tweet said more specifically, pulling it up right now, how much in fees does it cost to send $1 worth of the following cryptos from one person to another? For Dogecoin, it's fractions of a penny. For Bitcoin, it's $3.50. For SHIB token, it's $54. Quite a difference there. Definitely brings that into perspective for sure. And let me get back to the rest of the article. Not that there's a lot more to it here, but last week, Dogecoin Core 1.14.5, sorry, 15, that's going to be a ways away, was released featuring important security updates and changes to the network's policies, including reducing recommended fees. Elon Musk then took to Twitter to express his opinion shortly after the release. Also, after last week, there were rumors in the market that Tesla may be accepting Shiba Inu as a payment option. Musk neither confirmed or denied the speculation. Earlier this year, Musk tweeted about Dogecoin and said it was super important for Doge fees to drop, making it more viable to buy things like movie tickets, etc. Now, why do we think that is so important to Elon Musk? For me, it seems rather evident. It seems rather clear. Elon Musk has long-term plans for Dogecoin. I do think that the acceptance of Dogecoin through Tesla is something that's a foregone conclusion at this point, imminent. I would give it a 98% chance of that happening, and I think that's going to happen probably in the first quarter of 2022, if I had to guess. It could happen sooner, but that's where I'm putting my money. Josh Randell disavows coming in at a $10 super chat. Thank you, Josh. Really, thank you so much for your support this morning. Means a lot. A couple weeks ago, I was followed by Crypto.com verified Twitter account. I believe it was accidental. Now these big-time NFT creators are following me because of it. That's good, man. Wield your influence responsibly. But that's funny, man. That's hilarious. So if you start shilling obscure NFT lines to Josh, I will know why. I will know why. Enjoy yourself there. Enjoy yourself. Oh, yeah. Make the most and then shill some gems, said Serial Shiller, which is a hilarious username. And welcome again, Serial Shiller. Good to see you in the mix here. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to get to here. Sorry, guys. Just give me a moment. It's All Risky. If you're not already subscribed to his newsletter, I think It's All Risky does an incredible job, kind of summing up Doge-centric news week to week. And the theme of It's All Risky's recent newsletter was, "This is why Tesla will accept Dogecoin." But it was succinctly stated, some nice points there. And one of the points that stood out to me in Risky's assessment of this is As a result, the success of Tesla has passed Facebook to become the sixth most valuable company in the world. More than any other company, Tesla has positioned itself to dominate other markets of electronic vehicles, AI, and energy for years to come. There's just one issue. Its business is conducted with rapidly depreciating fiat currencies held in banks with negative interest rates simply by holding cash. In this regard, Tesla is losing money. Now, because of its fixed supply and predetermined, Bitcoin is often viewed as a hedge against inflation. Inflation started to hit the headlines hard over the past couple of months, meaning Tesla was well ahead of the game when it became the largest company in the world to hold Bitcoin on its balance sheet in February. But now, 2 days later, Elon revealed that he had been working with Dogecoin core developers, taking a little blast from the past here, to make Doge more efficient for transactions, but didn't reveal why he was so keen on improving the Doge network. I think we know why. Since May, Tesla hasn't made any major crypto moves, but hints continue to accumulate that something big is afoot. At the beginning of October, Elon tweeted a picture of his very own Shiba Inu Floki in the trunk of a Tesla. And guys, the trunk was open, by the way. It's a cute picture. Just for added context there. But to me, that picture was so obviously symbolic. I don't know how much more obvious Elon can make it at this point, frankly. So I think I'm going to wind this one down for the morning show, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit subscribe immediately. Hit all on that notification bell. If you are already subscribed, hit all on that notification bell so you never miss the alerts when we go live again. I will be doing a show tonight at around 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will also be doing a members-only stream afterwards, putting some gems and nuggets there for you members. And if you're not a member, you already know what to do there. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this special morning edition. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let's keep the positivity. Let's keep the momentum moving strong. Until next time, this is Steele signing out.
Just the beast.